Good afternoon, people. So this is the third one of these. At the point of doing this third video, please bear in mind that you haven't seen the second video unless you're on members, because I forgot to put it up, and I don't know. Obviously, I've taken into notes so that I get how unhappy some of you are. I get that from the first video. But me, all I can tell you is what I taste. There was further things to the second video that we were testing and messing about, wasn't it? Which is absolutely pointless to be going into, because...
Yeah, it's one of those things. I totally agree with why people are upset. I've said it on camera before. I will say it again. I totally understand why.
Yeah.
But I like to go into a review unbiased. I like to just say what I'm tasting and try and give it the most honest opinion of what I can taste.
Yeah, and that's why, as I say, right at the beginning of it, when we were doing this, we were asked about the bottle. Obviously, we did the bottle when it first came out about a year ago, and it was absolutely disastrous. That wasn't what I tasted in there. And I've since drank it again, haven't I? And we, as I say, we've done private things just for our own state of mind, isn't it, more than anything?
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know, it's different. One thing as well that's confusing me on here.
A bit confusing.
Brewed in Belgium. It's only distributed, brewed by AB Belgium, and it's got the Brussels address where it's brewed in Belgium and distributed in the UK by AB Bev. There's not one mention of our friends. I don't know if you can pause that or whether you can see that correctly.
Is saying 6%.
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously it's brand new from Tesco, so £3.49.
Which is not what you'd expect.
I don't get that.
For a place of brewing. When you look on the back of that bottle, that's not what you'd expect.
No, obviously, I don't know. The whole thing baffles me. It makes you question yourself and everything. And as I say, you know, I always reply to your comments. I don't mind, as I've actually wrote on the video that hasn't gone out to everyone yet about constructive criticism. But I'm not with them. I'm not trying to, you know, make them think, oh, what a lovely video he's put out. Because at the end of the day, even if I enjoy this, for the principle, unless it's really cheap, as I said, I won't buy it again either.
Yeah.
I weighed up a few things in the last video about the percentages, and people are missing that bit out. You know, that one could be higher than that one. Probably not, but anyway, this is not about that. This is about the bottle
That's come from Tesco?
That's come from Tesco. I think it was £3.49 or £3.79 versus the keg of 6%. Obviously, brewed in England and brewed in Belgium. God only knows.
God knows. That is what that's saying on the bottle. He's put it up so that you could have a look on that.
I do get everyone's point, and I say there is a lot of history with this brewery. As you see, it goes back to 1240. A lot of you've seen my wall there. There's left things on the wall. I have a left tap handle. We've always loved left, haven't we?
Yeah.
That was our first ever keg.
First ever keg was
on the machine.
Ruby.
10 years ago. So yeah, and long before these ones came on the Perfect Draft, or any of them really, we were drinking them over when my friend used to live in Nice. Yeah.
It's always been very much a go-to beer for me. I've always enjoyed it. Yeah.
But as I say, this has been somewhat difficult, and as I say, it's kind of like where you don't want to be at the stage of a review where you're kind of watching what you're saying, because the idea is it's a bit of fun, and it's kind of like you have to like be careful, because I'm your friend, not their friend. You know, I only hope they'll watch the reviews, and watch what people are writing on both YouTube and Facebook. But to be honest, if me,
big company,
you, Michelle,
I doubt it very much.
They don't care. And as I said,
I doubt it very much.
Again in the last one, there's thousands of them to replace us. So unfortunately, that's how it is now. Right. Anyway, I've been gabbling on way well long enough. I'm going to pour. We're only doing little glasses, you see, being clever today. Makes a change, doesn't it? But we can fill them up if we are undecided. Is the whole idea here, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's just get that down. I don't want to get any of that in there.
There we go. So there is your Leffe 6% ABV blonde.
Okay.
So these should be. I've got a thing on there. Look, I even brought one of them for you. Have a lid.
Uh-huh.
Smart people, smart. So yeah, they look identical. I mean, I saw some of the comments. I can't remember if it was YouTube or Facebook of it being washed up and it's being thin. It obviously you haven't got the 6.6 one here in the machine, but they all look pretty similar, every single one of them. And
finer bubbles on the one that's coming out the keg. A little bit soapier with larger bubbles on the bottom. But colour looks exactly the same. Carbonation coming up through both of them. So yeah, it looks pretty similar, barring that.
It's a really tough one, this, isn't it? It's like, and you're trying to get it right, because then when someone don't agree with you, I had all this with a Stella one, wasn't it? I went over again and done the Stella one a long time later, and obviously things were different, which I don't know, did I change, did the keg change? But this was a disaster in the bottle.
Yeah, the bottle wasn't good the last
It was
time
horrible,
we tried it.
and that was against the other one, not this one, granted, but that bottle can come back out and go against the other one, obviously on a later video, because it would be crazy on this one, wouldn't it? Right, okay, go on. You're looking for vanilla and cloves, as it says on the front. It's always been the way. I always used to find, I always used to think though that there was a bit of like banana or pear that I haven't quite picked up so much
Almost a
lately.
little bit of almond in the aroma. Yeah. Picking up the floral notes from the bottle actually, a little bit more I think.
God Jesus, don't say the bottle beats the keg, that's all I need.
Okay.
You couldn't write it. I'll let you go first, they trust you more than me, as I keep getting told. God only knows why. No, you can't stop them now.
No. Okay.
And you haven't tried anything. You haven't tried anything. It's not like this one was the one to do. You know, if you do one today, we're going to do this because you need to come into this with a clean palate. I haven't had a beer for a couple of days at this point. No, I haven't actually.
Okay. Yeah. A little bit of a difference there.
That's what we want.
So go on and have a taste
Right.
and see what you think.
That's what we want. That's what there's meant to be. Because if that follows that, then that makes this whole point of these beer reviews somewhat confusing. Wait, please don't. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, it's only the dog. Well, otherwise he knocks the...
Yeah, I'm not camera over.
No. I'll let you speak first, because anything I'll say, taking down the use of evidence.
Okay. For me, the bottle is coming across as quite, it's almost like a metallic-y taste at the end, and I say this about cans a lot, but I've been finding I'm getting this kind of chemically sort of taste at the end of these beers, and I'm getting that with this particular bottle a lot, quite a bit, that I'm thinking...
I don't think it tastes metallic-y, but... It's
almost
not
a chemically kind of taste.
It's not as smooth as the keg, and it's like... Again, it's a somewhat weird aftertaste on the end of your palate that you're left as well. Whereas this one,
sweet malty vanilla, slight floral note in the middle, ending on that spicy kind of end. Now that end should have a slight bitterness to it, but it shouldn't taste sort of chemically bitter. And that for me is the main difference that I'm getting with them. There's not really a lot of difference in the body of Unfair.
well, no, both 6%. They shouldn't be.
They're very similar in body to each other. I just feel that the keg is coming out smoother.
It's definitely smoother.
It's got a more defined flavour to it, especially on those end notes.
But the bottle, compared to what we had on the first time, I would have to say the bottle's improved. I just can't.
In comparison to this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It was
but then
up
we
against
didn't
the
have-
6.6 before, wasn't it?
But I didn't. Yeah. I didn't think of that. You know, I could bring the 6.6 out now and do it all in one rather than keep going back and doing yet another video and yet another video.
You
Put it in the fridge, the machine's on.
You can if you want.
It might be the best way to do it, mightn't it?
I think sometimes to go in on a clean palate, like Paul said, we've not drunk anything for a couple of few days now.
Only
so
2 days.
It's only 2 days. That felt like a little bit more to me, but
I thought it might. It's just I didn't have
really
this.
means that your palate is cleansed out and there's nothing else there to sort of.
And there you go. Just in
Take
case you
away
think I'm
flavours or add
doing a
flavours.
naughty one. The only reason this is not in the machine is so that we didn't drink it tonight. And we have the new keg hopefully coming tomorrow. But the machine is on, and obviously there's been a keg in it running, so we're not at a complete loss here. That's why I say rather than doing
Yeah,
a
we
full
can do
video.
it that way. I'm going to pop a tiny bit more on this bottle glass because I want to be able to have a good sit there
Up
to
as well. Right.
a good
So
glass.
6.6 is in the blunt machine. No, they've both got blunt handles on. So let's pour this out because this might be a bit lively. I've got the thing in. I am here, people.
He's still there. He's just
Rather than
messing
doing
about getting the keg in the machine.
a full video, which people are just going to say, how many more? It's going to get boring, isn't it? I do apologise for the length of this video, but I will write something. If you choose to skip it, you can. I haven't got the pint left glass out here, so I've used the Affigem. So you know that your Affigem is your 6.6 one there.
Yeah.
So if I've topped this up a little bit, oh god, this is left in the mix, isn't it? Oh god, I did a classic tonight. That's all right.
As it should be.
Right.
Okay, so the bottle. That's what I'm keeping that with this one. 6% keg, 6.6% keg.
Why did I ever start these comparison videos?
Because they are interesting. I find them really
They get you in trouble.
People can have different opinions. I accept that. That's fine.
Because remember, we've already put out at the point, well, we haven't put out, but there's already another video to go out, which is these two together, which we kind of differed a little bit, but as the video went on, we were more in agreement. But today's another day, you know. So remember, this is literally 3 days after that last video.
Keg's definitely smoother. Definitely got a nicer aftertaste that's going on this one.
I'd never make a good beer reviewer, I can tell you. But I will always tell you what I felt. You see, that's rubbish compared to them. That really is. After having that pause where I've changed them over, well, not changed them over, but added the other keg.
The clarity of the flavours is much better. Body-wise, I'm not getting a lot in the body of the three of these.
There's much more to that than that. Straight away.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think body-wise that there is. It's the clarity of the flavour.
And they are similar.
It's the clarity of the flavour. Yeah. I am picking up the flavours much more pronounced in a much nicer degree of flavour, and I'm not getting that artificial kind of taste that I'm getting from that.
Do you know what? And I know this is a mad one to say, right? Do you wonder if they just, because you know, as I've said in the past video, that you can have the 0.5. How do we know, right? That
They haven't brewed it all the same.
the same. And then they've just gone and called it 6% because it can be that 0.5 lower. They've tested it, and it's lower, so they've just whacked 6% on what was originally a 6.6 because
they can do that.
That's what I mean.
It's within the legal guidelines. So.
Well, it's 0.5 and 6.6. I don't know. Like I say, right. The bottle is not at the races, but I go on, as I said in the last video that hopefully you've watched by now by the time we get this one bloody out. These two similarities, and there's no way, you know, on doing it again that can I be that stupid and that wrong twice. The first time,
spicy cloviness I'm finding a little bit more pronounced in there.
You might be. I'm not.
Sweet malt, this sort of hint of vanilla. It moves on to an almost floral note for me. It's rounded off and balanced off. Really nice with a light clove taste. It's a little bit lighter. I'm finding that kind of spicy clovey taste on the end. Lighter, more balanced.
It could be. It's just, it's hard,
But
you know.
I would say after a pint, I'd be, you know, someone brought me out the second pint and it was the other one, I'd be hard pressed
You would, yeah. That's what I said on Sunday.
to tell the difference. Tasting them side by side, I am picking up.
Well, that's more than what you picked up.
Yeah, there
Sunday.
are variations in the flavours, but I'm standing here on a totally clean palate, not drunk anything at all, really looking for what those are. So I am going to find them. I'm standing there and really taking it, letting it go around the whole of my palate, trying all those flavours in the whole part of my mouth. When you're in the pub and you're sat down having a conversation with your mates, you know the difference between someone giving you a pint of lager or someone giving you a wheat beer or something. But
Yeah, but
the difference in these, I'm telling you, if someone come and put one down in front of you and then the next one brought you the other one, you are not noticing the difference.
it's not thinner, but yeah.
It's the definition that I'm getting in a different taste that for me is a little bit different in these. Although that body, the thickness, I'm not finding 6% one more watery. The clarity of the taste in both of these is far superior to the bottle.
Yeah.
I'm getting that artificial, I call it metallic-y taste because it reminds me of sometimes what I taste from cans and things, and I
The
don't
bottle's
like
not
that.
at the races, basically, is what
And
she
that
means.
artificial kind of taste on the end I'm getting, and I'm not enjoying that.
It's just, it has absolutely
The
baffled my
differences
head.
are very, very slight.
You know, it's baffled my head like nothing has before. And I say, this one's definitely not the races.
Mm.
But just, if you weren't drinking against them two, it'd be an alright drink, but it's never going to be that nice. And that's the one's meant to be brewed in Belgium, so God knows. Obviously that is. Yeah, the more you drink of it and then go back to that one, the more that one's actually now tasting harsh at the end.
Yeah. The clove on this is slightly more balanced out than this one. That's really what I'm picking up on. You get the sweet malts and vanilla, which are a little bit more pronounced, and that is giving a nice balance to the clovey notes and the spicy
You'd
notes.
expect
that you're
some
getting
difference with the 0.6, if there is 0.6, as I say, depending on what way, which I went into on the last video. But
there. Sat in the pub, I'm chatting with friends. I
wouldn't-
wouldn't notice between the two. If someone brought a drink over to theirs, I'm not going to
yeah,
notice the difference.
but then you go to the rest of the story. It was, as I said earlier, 1240. There's huge history that they're going gabbling on and on and on about their website. Well, you don't expect it to be brewed in Wales. I get that as well.
No, that's not.
If we know that if the taste wasn't there, then it's not there. You know, it don't matter. It don't matter where you brew it, but for me, when you're stating about history and you're going on that much on your website about history, it should be going where you say it's coming from, shouldn't it? Not trying to fool people with this little print that it's done there. If it was cost effective, people would pay it. You see, what you got to remember is it's still, especially when it's on 20% discount, like I got that one, for a 6% ABV, it's not that badly priced. You know, as we said before, it should be called something different. That goes back to the last video again.
Yeah,
But you should get a choice, you know, but they're not that different. There is, I don't know, like I say, I'm not saying anything else because it's all using evidence against me. Otherwise, that one's not the races. That's not really a good representation of either of those two.
Yeah.
And that's something we both agree on, isn't it?
yeah, totally. I do agree on that.
Finding very little differences. You know, if I listen to Michelle talking, because there's two of us doing this, and she starts going on about this, I'll start saying, oh yeah, well maybe. Like if I watch Baz's review or Simon's or Simo's, well maybe, you know, before I do it myself. And it's creating a false illusion. For me, I remain with what I said Saturday. and I proved my point with things I won't go into because it's irrelevant in a way. After we've done the Sunday's video, wasn't it? And you know, but the point is, it still should be 6.6 and not 6. So I don't know. We could chat here, drinking all this and talk all night and bore you all even more than we already have. What can I say? That's not what the race is. These two, God knows. Let's hope someone else does a review, and I'll quite happily watch.
It's really interesting to see what other people think. I'd be interested to see.
I mean, I got the comments about it watery. That's not watery. That's no way. That keg certainly not. Anyway, that's not just to say you've got a watery one, because I kind of begin to think that can happen.
Sometimes they mess about these recipes, or they do things in a different way, and the batches come out differently. It has been known with other kegs.
I don't know. I'm baffled. I'm lost. I know I'm not that bright in the first place. Right. Thanks for watching. Bonjour.